Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. Especially you, June. June suggested I react to this article, which is, I guess it's things that Europeans think is weird about America. Am I making any sense? I can barely speak. Anyway, yeah, things that are normal over here in America that you guys just can't wrap your heads around. A little bit clickbaity, but I thought it would be fun and interesting. And the very first one right here, college sports, particularly football and basketball. The rest of the world loves soccer, but nobody gives a hoot about it at the university level. That's fun. That's actually really kind of surprising. Nobody cares about it at the university level. I would have thought that was kind of like a natural kind of progression. If you have a sport that's super popular, like football is in America and Europe, and it is in Europe too. It's just, not the same sport at all. It's literally completely different, just the same name. Anyway, I'm just going to call it soccer, guys. Sorry. Soccer is super popular in so many countries. I would think people would just be interested in the up and coming university players. I feel like there's a market for that that's untapped, apparently. 2, bumper stickers. I'd never heard this. I never thought about that. Sometimes I get the impressions that people put their entire political philosophy in the form of bumper stickers on their car. Yeah, people do. Some people do. I don't know what coerces them to do that. I think it's, maybe it's kind of like a uniquely American type of, to be honest, kind of arrogant. It's kind of like, I am so smart and right about everything that you need to read about my philosophy while you drive behind me. And it's probably going to be offensive. That's the weird thing about bumper stickers is a lot of them are like intentionally offensive. It's just odd to me. It's like it says stuff you would never say it to people to their face. But for some reason on your bumper sticker, it's like, you're a loser and a moron. Have a good day. Ice, which is usually filled to the brim of a glass before any drink is poured. You know what? To be honest, I think that's weird. I only ever put ice up to like the midpoint, but indeed, most of my fellow compatriots put it all the way to the top, all the way. I'm like, there's barely any room for the drink. Especially if I'm buying a drink and you're only getting one glass. Now, of course, here in America, you get free refills at restaurants, so it's not a big deal. But on the circumstance where you don't get a free refill, they put the ice all the way up to the brim. There's barely any room for the drink. That's what I don't like about it. Food coloring. Yeah, you mean the food coloring that gives you cancer? Surprisingly, they haven't banned it yet here in America. Maybe they will soon. When I moved from Japan to the U.S., I was surprised at how colorful American foods were. These days, Americans are now more into organic, natural stuff, so I see it less. There is truth to that. That is becoming more trendy. Organic, natural stuff. Thank God. Not so much over here in America, but, especially over on the West Coast, I feel organic stuff. Natural stuff. It's more popular. And it is over here in Indiana as well, just not as popular. But it took me a while to realize that prevalent blue raspberry is not real. Peanut butter and jelly. Now this you guys are missing out on. Although this should be grape jelly. This is like strawberry jelly. I don't know about that. Grape jelly is more iconic. It doesn't help that outside the U.S., jelly often refers to a gelatin dessert like Jell-O. Yeah, that would be weird. Some folks who hear Americans eat peanut butter and jelly are therefore horrified. It's fantastic, guys. I don't know what else to say. As long as you don't use too much jelly, like this is definitely... This would be okay, but it's pushing the limit, in my opinion. You don't want too much jelly to where it's that weird texture. But it's really good. Root beer and ranch dressing. I wonder where these comments are from. I can tell these are just like comments, you know what I mean? This blog is comments from TikTok or something. I don't know. I mean, this one's 2 for 1. Wow. Root beer and ranch dressing. I brought some of both to Germany, and my friends try them, and they said the root beer tastes like medicine. Dr. Pepper tastes like medicine, and Dr. Pepper kind of tastes like root beer. Do you guys drink Dr. Pepper? They politely tasted the dressing with celery and said it was interesting. Guys, come on. Ranch is fantastic. Maybe it's spoiled on the way to Germany. You know, how did you keep it cold? Stores open 24 hours. I was in Chicago working with a colleague from Switzerland who suddenly realized around midnight that he needed a network cable to configure a mobile router for the job the next morning. I told him that I'd meet him in the hotel lobby to drive him out to Walmart. He was shocked. You know, that's actually become more of a common thing as I've grown up in America, is what's a little bit funny. Like, as a kid, most stores did actually close around 7 o'clock. But they started opening later and later, and then really, like, Walmart in particular kind of came around and just stays open all night long. It's extremely convenient. That's the idea. Chicken and waffles. Yum. I just had this the other day. Like 2 days ago. As a non-American, I saw this on the menu at an American restaurant a few months ago and ordered it out of curiosity. I'd never seen it before, but it was awesome. And I can't wait to go back and eat it again. Right, because what you might not realize is that the syrup paired with the fried chicken, it's very good. And I'm sure that sounds extremely American of me. You know, putting a thick sugar substance all over your chicken that's been fried in a vat of oil, it's wonderful. And then just slap it on top of some carbs and some butter. And you've got a dessert, the most important meal of the day. I mean breakfast, not a dessert. Signs outside people's houses stating an opinion or belief such as, in this house we would support. As a non-American, I find it weird and unusual. Fascinating. Even political signs. Those are very common here in America. I guess people just aren't as kind of loud and boisterous both in their speaking and in their signage on their cars and in their yards. That makes sense. It's a little bit obnoxious sometimes. That would be weird if you'd never seen that before. Huh. The date format, yeah. I feel like your guys' date format is probably better. It makes more sense, you know, just because it's listing them from smallest increment to the largest one. And, you know, if you're wanting to know the date, then you're probably wanting to know what day it is. You should already know what month you're in, hopefully. So, you know, the first number being that day, that would be convenient. I like that. Flags. So many American flags everywhere. Yeah, you know, I realize now that this is probably just going back to the yard signs and the bumper stickers. It's just people kind of putting out their expression into the world. Americans love to do that. Processed cheese. Ew. There are so many delicious cheeses that are actual cheese. Why eat the gross fake stuff? Probably because it's cheaper to produce because they make it out of some kind of leftover crap they scrape off the bottom of the factory floor. And so it's made very cheaply and sold very cheaply. So, yeah, that's it. Driving everywhere. In rural America, you are not walking anywhere. Not even to your own mailbox. Okay. For some people, that's true. For some people, their driveway might be, you know, half a mile long. Not a lot of people. But some people do be driving. Now, if they're doing that, they're probably taking their golf cart, you know? If you live on a property that big, you probably own a golf cart. You take that to the mailbox. Delis. All of the places I've visited so far in the U.S. have the best delis. Wow. I didn't know that. I've never heard that. This is the first time I'm hearing this. What's that Trump quote?
Wow. I didn't know.
Oh my God, it's going to get flagged.
That. I just, you're telling me now for the first time.
The dang copyrighted music. I don't even know if that played. I don't know if I could live somewhere without a great Jewish or Italian deli. Oh. I will not take that for granted anymore. You know, I don't go to the deli enough. They are pretty nice. Yay. Commercials about pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I mean, okay. Now this is insane. It's insane. I've thought it was insane since I was a kid. I never understood it since I was a kid. I was like, am I really supposed to tell the doctor? Because the commercial will tell you, ask your doctor about this drug. Am I really supposed to, hey doc, have you considered this drug I saw on TV? I kind of want to give it a try after seeing the commercial. Who are you to even be bringing that up? Like, I don't want to be the one bringing up a drug to my doctor. I don't want to, you know. I'd rather not be on any drug, to be honest. So I'll let him bring it up if he thinks I need to be on a drug. Ranch dressing. Yeah, we already heard this. Ranch is effectively unknown in Europe. Wait. Where on Doritos packages, Cool Ranch is labeled Cool American flavor. Cool American. No shit. Do you guys actually call it that? You're telling me you actually go to the store, you're like, yeah, I'm going to pick up some Cool American chips. Or what do you call them? What the hell do you guys call them? Chips? You don't call them chips. Or do you? I think you actually do. You call them both chips. French fries and chips. You call them both chips. Crisps. Yes, crisps. Walmart. I went to buy a SIM card and some groceries, but I discovered that I could also buy pet fish, car parts, and shoes all in one building. That is, Walmart's strategy is pretty fascinating. It's pretty interesting. You know, I feel like before Walmart and before that type of store, you went from business to business to business to buy whatever you might need, which made sense. And that was, in my opinion, that's pretty good for an economy to have a lot of small businesses. Walmart came and said, you no longer have to even think about going anywhere else. We have what you need, no matter what it might be, and it's at the cheapest price. So think about what that does. That means that even though they might not sell a lot of a certain product, it might still be beneficial for them to carry it so that the customer who needs that peace of mind to know anything they might need is at Walmart. They will go to Walmart always for every shopping trip without having to think about any of it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I mean, it's a little dystopian, but you have to admit it's pretty brilliant business. Casserole? My mother, who's British, thought casseroles were weird and disgusting. Once her British friend came to visit the U.S. and asked that we not eat one of those dishes where all the food is mixed together in an awful jumble. That'd be fine by me. I'm not a huge fan of casserole. It depends what kind of casserole. But it is kind of, yeah. Just the whole concept of it is a little bit, yeah. Handicap accessible. Old buildings and towns in Europe are nice if both of your legs work. Ah, isn't that actually kind of funny? You would almost assume that this would be more of a European thing. Just because European countries in general are more egalitarian. But as far as accessibility, yeah, there's all sorts of laws and regulations about accessibility, ramps and routes and parking spots. Basically, if you have a public business, within reason, it needs to be handicap accessible. Within reason meaning, no, if you have a rock climbing gym, it doesn't need to be handicap accessible. That doesn't make any sense. But within reason, it does need to be. That was a really fun list. A lot of unique ones on there. Very fascinating, actually. Thank you so much for sending that in. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.